Hour has arrived. I call this meeting to order. If you bow our heads, we'll have the invocation. Heavenly Father, let our deliberations and actions be acceptable in your sight. Amen. We'll stand and pledge allegiance to the flag. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The agenda's there, and I've already had a suggestion or a request that I think we should honor due to babysitting mama needs. We want to move 17 to number 3 and number 3. Don't just move it up, yeah. Okay, we want to move 17 up to right after approving the agenda. Mr. Johnson made a motion that we make that change in the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed? That's done. The agenda, other than that change, is before you. Entertain, yes?
The rezoning of the property on Jefferson Street,
Yes, sir?
we need to go ahead and take care of that if we can, because Ray's, been waiting 3 months, and the zoning board met and had their public hearing. And
Okay,
no
all right, what
objection.
do you want, have you looked at the agenda?
Anywhere, it doesn't matter.
All right, put it, would you handle it right behind the Titan Auto Sales? We'll handle it as item number 2, which would be actually number 4 or something. I don't know what it would be, but I'll handle it. All right, make a motion, somebody, Mr. Johnson made a motion that we amend the agenda to include zoning ordinance change on Jefferson Street. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Bloodworth. Any discussion? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we've got an amended agenda. I entertain a motion that we approve the agenda as amended.
Call for motion.
Mr. Johnson made the motion that we approve the amended agenda. Is there a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, we've got agenda set. Okay, ma'am, you're ready to go.
Whatever Natasha needed me for, so.
This is the the item that you have is 17, discuss Titan Auto Sales email message. All right, who's handling that?
We've already, in the email we sent out, you can see that tax commissioner's office has had a pretty big problem with Titan Auto Sales. And as I understand it, Titan Auto is not licensed by the state of Georgia to sell used cars right now. They've been operating under Y&W Auto Sales out of Roswell, Georgia, which is a violation of Georgia law. They have, I've had several dealings with them, and they've said that, they're at the end of their process, give us a little bit more time, give us a little bit more time. And our office is giving them more time, but we're still sitting here with them operating in the city with no license. And I talked to Kenneth Flowers, who's an investigator with the Secretary of State today, who Titan Auto says that they're working with, and he would not confirm that they were even going to be issued a business license. When I talked to him, he said he had referred the file up to his supervisor, but he would not confirm or deny that they were going to be issued a license. He said they had completed the process, but that didn't mean that they were going to guarantee the license. So, and I brought Morgan here tonight if y'all had any questions about some of the problems that they're having, but they really need, until they get a state license, they really just need to be shut down. Because I think the city could get in trouble for allowing them to operate knowing that they don't have a state license. So Morgan, do you want to explain some of the issues that y'all been having?
So to be able to sell a vehicle, you have to have a dealer license. You have to give them temporary tags, you have to collect taxes, you have to provide them with bill of sales and titles. All of the things down the line that you are required to do, every one of them, they're not doing correctly. And the customers are having major issues, having to pay huge late fines and all these things because of the dealer not doing what they're supposed to do. Can't get titles, sitting there waiting for 6 months when titles are supposed to be done in 30 days. And it's really, really causing problems, and I hate it for our customers, and there's only so much that we can do that the state allows us to help them with. 60 days is it. After that, they
Excuse me
have
for
to
interrupting you,
work
but I think we've heard enough. Gentlemen, what do y'all think about this?
How they get a license to begin with?
we understood that they had a license, and then the city, after that was secured, we thought the city issued a business license, but apparently it was fraudulent or in the wrong name, or something happened to the.
I did it. I thought I had the correct information to issue them a license, but now let me tell you, I have since went and basically they surrendered their license back to the city. They're not operating under Titan anymore. I don't know if they're doing this other one or not, but Titan is no longer, they're waiting to get the correct information from the state to open Titan. And I'll tell you how crazy it is. They came down and wanted them to put up a sign before they would approve them for a used car lot. So I said, look, I'm not going to make y'all buy a permit to put up a sign. Go ahead and put the sign up. They said the inspector was supposed to come down, inspect the building, inspect the sign, inspect their paperwork, and Bud Elder is finally helping them because they definitely needed some legal help because they didn't know what they were doing. So they went to Buck, and they're supposed to have everything in order to get a license. Now, whether or not they will or not, I don't know.
In light of what you've heard,
They're not operating. They surrendered their license to me. I have their license. They're not operating as Titan.
Is it okay for the cars to sit there on that lot as long as there's no business, they can sit there and
Well,
park as long?
that I do not know. I mean,
Does anybody know?
I just know they're not going to sell anymore under Titan Auto Sales because I told them their license, well, I took the license back from them.
Okay.
So, I
What's to
mean,
say that if somebody comes there and offers them some money and goes and gets
then they're
financial?
breaking the law. Yeah.
Um,
Then I think the chief
Okay,
should take care of it.
Council, I'm asking for recommendations.
I've battled this for 2 years and I'm exhausted. Everything
Well,
I've tried
the
to
city's
do,
been
I
over
did.
backwards to help them. The city's been over backwards to
I
help them.
think we have.
They don't have a license, they should be operating, period. As far as the cars sitting there, I don't know any way we can make them remove the cars, but they certainly can't run a business. I mean, it's a commercial zone. as I
Chief,
understand.
could you go out there and take an inventory of the automobiles that's on that lot, and then if one goes missing, we'll notify them if one goes missing. We're gonna have to have an accountability of what happened to it until they get, and then if they wanna move them and carry them somewhere else, that's fine. But if they don't have proof that they've transported, that they sold to someone, then we've got a case that we can.
Mayor, let me just tell you what I was told was happening before they ever got the license. People were window shopping, okay? There's a number up there that you can call. And all they're doing is going to Walmart and making the transaction, and then the people are coming back and getting their car. That's what it is. I mean, there's got to be something we can do. The grass is knee high. It's right there on 341. It's an eyesore. There's got to be. I've been getting several complaints on them, but I thought they had a
Well,
license.
they shouldn't be allowed to have any kind of number or advertising, anything.
Yeah, they do not
There,
have.
because that's basically conducting business.
What you recommend?
Can I say what I wanted to say?
Sure. Love to hear.
As I was saying, I've been battling this thing for 2 years and I'm exhausted. I've butted my head up against the wall. Every time I try, I'm getting call after call. Y'all may not be getting the calls, but I am, because they got my phone number, the people that are upset about it. And I've gotten where I just dodge them when I see them coming, because we hadn't done anything in 2 years about it. So this is nothing new. And I think, as I understand it, I think the city has the authority to have every one of those vehicles impounded, and they can pay to get them out of impoundment. Now, I may be wrong, but I'd certainly like I'd like to put a stop to it. I'm tired of it.
Well,
I'm exhausted.
what I suggest, this is just a suggestion. We give them a notice to take and remove the vehicles, pull down the advertisement that they're selling vehicles because they cannot sell them because they do not have a license. We give them how many days y'all perceive to be a fair amount, which I believe is already past that, but give them, I don't care if you give them 10 days, and after that, we cite them, we have the cars removed, towed, or whatever, until they can take such time as they can pay to get the cars out of impound.
Are they leasing the property? Does anyone know? Are
They
they
own it.
they own the property?
I thought Ray moved on to that.
I think he sold it to
Oh,
them.
did he?
Well, I
He
understand.
sold it.
Pardon?
He sold it to him.
Oh, they do own the property. But I don't think we can make them, if they own
You
the
know,
property.
go ahead.
I guess the Tommy I just know, I spoke with Ray personally and asked him, and he said, I sold it. So, I know he does not own it anymore.
I would be afraid if they own the property, they can put what they want to there, because we can make it much better mow it.
When was the business license taken?
Well, let's see, we started, like Tommy said, 2 years ago.
The application date was, March 29, 2016.
Yeah, okay.
But the license was taken by you when?
Well, I went to meet with Walter Jr. and Tony and told them that, and what they told me and was basically they were not doing business under Titan.
Has
So-
there been any transactions made since those licenses have been surrendered?
Not as far as I know.
Yeah, but,
Well, that's the reason I asked the chief if he would go take an inventory of vehicles that's there, and let's tell the folks that, the only thing that those things can be moved, they can be transported, but if they don't have a record of where they picked it up, where they carried it, if we think it's sold, then you write a citation against them, is what I would recommend. Can you sort of help us do that? All right, let's try to go in that direction. We got a lot to handle. We can't spend the whole night on this.
But I just want to make sure people, that John in particular was not here when this happened, and I want him to understand the history of it. Eric had an excellent suggestion, but we've already done that once. The police chief went down there, gave him X number of days here, he finally moved it off the property, out to his property on Markall Drive. Then a few months, they were right back, and he started all over again. So we've tried that solution, and it didn't work. I just want you to be aware of that.
well, now the way I understand it, they're not operating under Titan anymore, or if they do, they know they're violating the law. But as far as what they're doing down there, I mean, with the other company or something like that, have they sold a vehicle under that other company? Okay, well, see, then they're violating the law.
But if the law's been violated, then silent.
It's been going on long enough, go ahead and decide what we done with it, chief, is what I suggest. I don't know how the rest of the council feels, but if they've been selling cars under the other.
I mean, everything else has a lot of
We're
work.
not, I can't believe you think it's this time.
Hold them accountable.
Just calm down, we in a work session, we'll be all right. Like I said, just take and go ahead and decide what to be done with it, in my opinion.
Anything else? Thank you, ladies. All right, the number 2 item that we, Mr. Harold, we're looking for a report. You come forward up here so you can hear what you're saying better.
What item is this?
This is one we added.
Okay.
This is, go ahead.
Bobby Dukes had to go out of town to the doctor, so he asked me to tell you that they had a meeting on this property, public hearing, nobody showed up to complain, so they voted to go ahead forward with the rezoning of the Jefferson Street property.
All right, attorneys, have we jumped through all the loops that we're supposed to jump through now to get this, for us to move on it?
I haven't seen what they've done, I can look at it to you by the meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
It'll be on the agenda for the meeting to approve.
Put it on the agenda. Yeah, that's good. Okay, thank you. All right, looks like we're at, now what's on your page is number 3, the local maintenance and improvement LMIG. Has anybody looked at this? In case you're, okay, if you're not familiar with it, and I'll be as brief as possible. We are 215, 216, 217, and now 218 is here, behind in addressing our local maintenance and improvement grant. The reason that we're as far behind as we are is Farmer Street, which is out beyond the old rec field, just across the road, going into the to our transfer station for our garbage. That road is now, if you've been on it, and I've had all sorts of complaints, including some of you, that road has been torn all to pieces with all those big log trucks going in and out of that pellet mill. We decided, or it was decided before I got here, that that road would not be repaired until the new road that the county is providing down there is in and across into that plant, so that we won't have all this load back on it, plus they're gonna close that crossing there. Finally, Donald Hunter's on it. I think they'll get across that thing probably in, I'd say 90 days. But I talked to Brent Mosley, who administers LMIG, And he told me today that the 215, the oldest ones, that we had to get busy and begin to do that because they wouldn't even let us, even though we got a grant of 72,000, we can't even designate what the new use of this funds will be until we get our 215 done. So the 215 includes some of the old streets. I've got some of them. What did I do with them? One thing that we've done, when we got that little extra asphalt the other day, Harris Street was one of the old ones that was supposed to have been done. I told him that we had taken care of that aspect of it. He asked us to finish that and get that going. So in a way, I guess maybe I thought we would do Farmer and go from there. But anyway, he told me we better get the 216 going and get us sort of caught up so that we don't have 3 years behind. Anybody know anything more about that?
Yeah, I thought that Eric and Dwayne, y'all were on here at the time, but I think the only ones, but as I recall on that Farmer Street, that we decided since we wanted to wait until they got the entrance to the Pellet Hill done, we would delay that, and we went ahead and did Kersey Street.
We did. We
And
used
that
that money to do Kersey, and we were gonna use the one that was
That's right.
slotted for Kersey to do there.
So I wouldn't consider that being behind because we had it for, let me finish. We had it for Farmer Street and we just swapped it to Kersey Street. So I don't understand why we were behind.
He told me that in his understanding that there was a segment of Kersey Street that we had not finished to. But I'll have to look and see. I don't know. Jeff, can you help us?
They done what they were supposed to do over there.
On Kersey?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
the wide, we took and
Yeah.
widened it out across.
Because all those buses
They took-
go
made
through
that-
there and everything.
That
Yeah.
turning lane used up the excess asphalt that was for that project, to
Yep.
put that turning lane in over there.
And then as far as, all right, Harris Street, I thought we were getting ahead on Harris Street. Mayor, you told me that that was on the next one, but we went ahead and did it.
Yeah.
So Harris wouldn't, I mean, I don't think.
That would go on, but that is already taken care of. That's a portion of it. At any rate, I think what we probably need to do then is get the next, I guess it's 216, and get busy and get that taken care of. But at any rate, it needs some attention. And if it's, I guess maybe some of it might be my fault, I'm not sure. But at any rate, it certainly needs some attention. Who put this on here, by the way? You put it on?
Yes.
Okay. What'd you do, get the letter for the new grant? Well, we can't do anything with the new 72,000 until we catch on some of the old ones. Anybody got anything else they want to say about that?
Yeah, just say that, as I understood the letter, it was, we were supposed to prepare a list for the 218, wasn't that right, Bernice?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, well, you know, I know I did, and I think all of us did, we rode around our wards and picked the street, so I prioritized mine. I don't know what y'all did, but.
You mean the 218?
Harris was number one, and it was done early, so I haven't had any of my streets up.
We're talking about now, Tommy, a new grant that we got.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. We've already turned in that list, and we should take, and all of my streets did get paid, and I think we've.
No, that's 2016.
Hold on just a moment. Y'all
We
got
turned
you.
them in last year.
They still need to be paid,
I
resurfaced.
understand that.
Okay, the letter you received last year, in the bold letters, fiscal year 2018 local maintenance and improvement grant, LMIG program. The letter you received last year stated fiscal year 2017. This is a new letter. This came in 2 weeks ago to me. So this is brand new. The one from 2017, I still have, that was signed, it was submitted to the state. Those are in a file in my office. This is a brand new year. This will be a new listing of streets that you as council members
That's what I
and
said.
mayor
That's what,
will submit.
I understand it. What I'm saying is, we already have a list, and only a portion of that list was done, right? So we have streets already listed that need to be added to the 18.
No, the 18 is a brand new grant,
I
Tommy.
understand that, Frank, but what we did, we made a list of streets, only a couple of them we included on 16, a couple of them included on 17, and we've still got the list, and can't we just use that list and we have to
Oh,
go back
you
and
thought
buy
that-
them all over again?
But you're talking about add that, use the funds up till it runs out and then, proceed with the balance of the list that we've got?
Yeah,
That would be,
I thought that was the whole purpose of looking at our streets.
I didn't understand that, see, so you're educated me, thank you. So you think the list that Brent went over with me today is far beyond what the 217?
I don't know about the list, Brent. All I know about is the list I made up.
Well,
That's all
anyway,
I know about.
because
I
we turned it in
in.
last year.
I turned it in.
We turned it in last year,
anticipating the new grant, the new LMIG?
the 17.
That's what I thought.
I thought that each year, a new LMIG, we would take some of these
Look,
streets in each ward and.
I'll handle it. I'll look and see, I'll get an estimate on each one and see how far the money goes, and I can talk to you more intelligently about it later. All right, anything else on the local maintenance and improvement grant? Okay, the tax digest, you've got the, latest figures on your sheet in your packet. Has everybody had a chance to look at it? All right, are we ready to proceed with the, looking at the tax digest now that's available to us and looking at the budget and approving, get the budget balance and approving it for the coming year? I think we are. Anybody got any suggestions?
As far as the tax digest, that shows how much of the actual increase for us and everything. Is that,
Very little change, really. With the budget that we approved, it was suggested that we go ahead and approve the budget. It was out of balance by $140,000. And Virgil, you got any new new sums in relation to the 140-something thousand that was mentioned last time?
No, sir.
What do you have? What's your latest figure?
It's not changed. It is still out of balance, $140,845.
We're out of balance, and you've got the digest in front of you now. I'm open for suggestions on how to come up with a balanced budget.
so the only option we're gonna have at this point, as bad as it is to say, we're gonna have to raise the military. And nobody wants to pay extra taxes. Nobody does. I don't. But the thing about it is we cannot continue on the path that the city has set itself on over the past 20 or 30 years to just take and get by when the services we provide, the cost of them continue to go up. Our equipment costs continue to go up. I mean, everything, the cost of anything, the cost of doing business continues to go up. I mean, we can't have a fundraiser and raise this money, just put it like that. We're not an enterprise fund, as the water and sewer department. But we don't have an option.
Okay, what are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting we take and raise the millage rate 1.5. 1.5 mils.
You all heard the suggestion of Mr. Griffin. He's
That's
suggesting
9.5 mils.
1.5 mil increase.
Increase, 1.5. That's
Yeah,
what-
but the total would bring it from 8 to 9.1. That's what I was gonna recommend, 9.5.
Right.
9.5.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, we've got two members of the council that's recommending that we go from 7 to 9.5 mils. That's a mill and a half. That'll generate about 75, 35, 40, 100. That'll just about cover us, not quite.
Yeah, not quite, and I figured that we could cut another 16,000 from the budget And I think we can find
I
$16,000
think so
in the
too.
budget to get
That,
that.
I concur that. In fact, I was gonna suggest, I want, let it be a record that I want to suggest that we just increase the millage rate by 1 mil and that we find about $60,000 to cut, was gonna be my suggestion, but I'm a team player.
We're talking
I went through it the other day and I found 80,000, but some of it wouldn't be real well received, some of the cuts, so. And I'll compromise and go with the 9.5 rather than.
It's not, it would go 8.5, because we're at 7 right now.
I think we're at 8. I know you told me today,
No.
at least we were
No,
7.
we're 7.
All right, if we're at 7,
Yeah,
Put us at 8.5.
Yeah, y'all at 7.
yeah, we're 7.
All right. Well, here's the thing about it. Last year, our millage brought, the total taxes levied, according to the 5-year history that we ran in the paper. So it's gotta be accurate if we ran it in the paper, right? Well, I mean, that's what they're required to give me the proper information. They can't give me falsified
This is
information.
CNN.
And we levied $543,000 in taxes. Now, at 60, I think we were getting right at 66,000 last year per mill. I'm pretty sure it's 66. It would take 8 mills to produce this. So where did we get the other taxes from if we're at 7?
Well, we collected a fair amount of delinquent taxes, but not that much. We did scrap up some, that helped a little.
That's the reason I thought we were at 8, because I multiplied 8 times 66,000, I came up with about this. I mean, I could be wrong. We may have got a lot more tax revenue than I know about, but
What did you say you?
let me ask, Susan, let me ask you this. Well, I stand corrected. No, that's still, the tax millage includes real and personal property, motor vehicles, mobile homes, timber, we don't have any timber. I don't know where we got the tax revenue. I don't see that in here. This isn't, what we put in this was how much money, how much tax levies, how much the city levied for taxes in last year. And it come up to $543,972. And if we're 7 mills, I don't know how you get 7 times 67 or 66. Am I multiplying that wrong?
I didn't multiply it out, I thought we was at 7 the whole time. And I thought that's what we were collecting on was 7. Susie said
I could be
7.
wrong.
I was thinking y'all were at 7.
Well, we are.
Well, if we go to 8.5, then let's back up. If we go to 8.5, if you we're only bringing in 651,428, right? All right. Our budget started with an anticipated revenue of 599, right?
Yes.
You had 140 that were over. That's 733. 739. Am I wrong? 739, if we're just bringing in 651, we're about $80,000 short.
I figure we're $60,000 short with a meal. I think the decision, we've hashed these figures and gone over them and brought back and forth. We're at 7 mills and looking at our revenue, and we're not only looking at the ad valorem tax is only one item in the general budget. There's a lot of things that come up with this budget in total. I think we need to decide, we've got 2 of you gentlemen that have recommended $1.5 million. I would prefer.
Actually, I would recommend we go to 9.5.
Well,
So that I don't recommend.
you recommend $1.5 million?
No, I don't recommend anything. I'm recommending 2.5 that way, if we're at 7. Because I think we're gonna need 700, that $728,000 can come close to balancing the budget. Either that or we're gonna have to cut the budget.
In the training that I have taken, Mr. Tommy, one of the things that we had to do, and one of my classes was on the millage rate. We had to actually pull up the website that shows the millage rate for each city within the state of Georgia. And it does show that we are at 7
That's
mills.
fine, I agree,
Okay.
I'm okay.
And I actually had Lori to re-verify, not questioning Susie or questioning, you know, the county in any way. But that is, everything that we look at says we are at 7 mills. So,
Okay, that's fine.
And again, too, you put your finger on it. You don't always collect everything. It's, there's a little shortage always, and we try to collect some of the old taxes, and then there's other things in the budget besides that. To make a long story short, we need a little more money. And would recommend one, y'all would recommend 1.5. Let's come to a meeting of the minds here. I'm willing to go, like I say, I'm a team player, I'll go with 1.5 million, and now we still gonna have to scrutinize it a little bit and come up, but now here's what I think we saw too. If we move those automobiles that we were talking about in the police department to the SPLOST account, have we moved those out to get to arrive at your figure?
no one told me to remove anything
Okay,
out
all
of
right.
the budget.
So what I'm saying is, we're not taking anything away from Ken, but where it's put into general fund, we can handle maybe one car or more with some SPLOST money. And
That'd be very helpful.
and
Very
and so we know where we can come up with the other 60,000 is what I'm telling you.
You don't care where we pay for them from, you just want them, right?
As long as he gets the car.
Absolutely.
Okay,
You're
so
cutting it, too.
here's the thing, here's the thing I think we need to do as a council. Now, of course, we're gonna do this Thursday night, of course. We're not gonna vote it out. But I think we need to come to a consensus opinion. Are we gonna go with 1 mil and try to find ways to come up with the other 60 or 80,000 in there? Or are we gonna go with 1.5 million and try to come up with another 40,000 and still we're still gonna be having to shuffle a little bit? What do y'all think?
What were you gonna say, Bernice?
In regards to the vehicles, we would have to wait until the new SPLOST fund rolls around next year, which that was just voted on, that begins this coming year in January.
He's gonna probably need one before then.
Well, we could move one and do something with somebody else.
Unfortunately, the powers that be before, overspent there, and right now, the fire department is trying to pay off engine number 2. So I have scrutinized numbers as financial officer of the city. I have scrutinized numbers, and he has got to pay for our engine too often.
Okay, this,
To my fellow,
Sure.
to the board, commissioners and mayor, Thursday night, now I won't be able to be here, but I will say that I'm agreeable with 1 meal, and wherever you else you can find to cut back. In Ward 1, I have talked with them and met with some meeting, and most of them understand we might have to do something because we've not done that in a while. But they ask, can't we do something else rather than going up? People don't understand that you got to go up more, but rather than just hit them all at one time. If we can find something, I know the department is, may not want to cut nothing out, but if we can cut back a little bit right now, we can always come back later on and do something. So we might have to tighten the belts a little bit.
all right, if y'all will get with me and Ms. Vernice during the week, and sort of let us have an idea of where you're gonna be sitting Thursday night with this, we'll try to come up with something so that we can intelligently make this decision Thursday night. We've hashed it until, I'm like, by this, like Tommy is by the car deal. I've hashed it, and I'm tired of it.
I spent about, just to tell you, I spent about 3 hours going over item by item, and I'll be glad to put all that stuff in writing and get it in all of y'all's hands before. If some of them you won't like, and that's fine, we'll just cut them out. Let's have a meeting with mine, you know, come meet halfway or something.
Well, let's get that in everybody's hands before Thursday night. So when we get together Thursday night, we can make a decision. We've seen the differences of opinion around here. Of course, we're all close, and we're gonna come up with about, we're gonna have to do a little cutting and shifting somewhere. So let's get our heads together during the week and discuss it so that Thursday night we can, you're not gonna be here Thursday, you say?
No.
Well, we'll handle it without you best we can. Take care. All right, who's wants to talk about the police academy?
Chief,
Uh-huh.
Chief, come forward.
I want to discuss sending somebody to the academy, sponsoring somebody for the academy. Apparently, I thought I had my ducks in a row, and apparently I didn't. I want to apologize, and I already apologized to the man that I want to send. Gentlemen, we had a city employee who's currently employed with the fire department. He's been there approximately 7 or 8 years. Come to me and wanted to know if I would be interested in sending him to the police academy. With me being short of officers, at the time, I went to my commissioner and I asked about sending somebody, and he said he thought it was a good idea. It would not be anything but a lateral transfer. The employee would be, I think, would be better than himself. I think he would make a fine officer. He's made a good employee thus far, and I think he would continue that. I did give some bad information because I was given some bad information. If I sponsor, or if the city police department sponsors a person to go to police academy, the tuition of $3,000 is paid for by the state. It's not paid for by the city. But in order for that to happen, that person has to be a full-time employee of the city, which that person already is. And that person has to draw a check while in the police academy. If that person is a full-time employee and that person draws a check, the state covers that $3,000 tuition. Now, you still have to pay housing, which is $630. You still have to buy a law book, which is $46. You still have to buy uniforms for the academy, which is about $200 to $250. And you have to pay for meals, which is about $900. Right now, whoever's in the academy is having to, either they're having to buy their own meals, or whoever's sending them, giving them a credit card to use because the cafeteria is not open because school's not in session at this time.
So he wasn't a man made it.
If he would've went this past time, he would've had to buy 3 meals a day, or we'd have had to supply some sort of card for him.
So the total cost to send him to the academy would be what?
$2,000, roughly, or less.
Let me mention, the sheriff stopped out in court the other day, listened to a tape. He just stopped me and told me that what he did for, they sponsored one, right? And what he did was, in order for them to be an employee, I guess that's why he did it, that they go to school during the week and they'd come home and work on the weekends, and then you pay them for working on the weekends. And that way, during the weekends, he gets to learn other, get familiar with other officers, familiar with the procedures, et cetera, et cetera. Is that the kind of thing you think would work, or how?
Municipal officers are different than sheriff deputies.
I really don't think that.
You mean he has to be paid as a full-time employee?
That's the way I'm taking.
Without,
Let me just say this, and this is what I'm proposing, and then you can do with it. He's gonna be in class at least 40 hours a week. Okay, now what I proposed to him was, what he's making now as a fire department employee is less than what he would be making if he graduates the academy and becomes a police officer, okay? My suggestion was, pay him 40 hours a week at the rate he's making now to go to school. And then when he gets out, raise him up to the police department.
Well, let me just also add that I had somebody come by and, Charles, I'm not stepping on your toes, but he said that he was in line to take this man's job at the fire department.
Yes.
And I think he'd be a good employee. I mean, I think.
Well,
Fire department,
you want me to be honest?
yeah.
I talked to him and he had the job, but he has since went back and he's talked to everybody. And he's even he sent emails to my guy's supposed to go to Kent's, and where he's going talking to commissioners and police chief and all that. And it's none of his business. I mean, I'm hiring him. And I already told him, I said, you got the job whenever this.
I didn't mean to open up a can of worms. I'm just
No,
saying.
that's a
that
little
you-
aggravating.
I understand. I'm sorry. I didn't mean, I just want to say that, I just brought that up because it appears that you are prepared. It's not going to hurt your department.
No.
But you're prepared.
I told y'all last meeting, I don't have a problem with it at all. No problem at all.
I think it's a good move for the city. For the department.
Well, that's fixing to shoot your budget now. Training alone, your budget, I believe, is around, what, $3,000 or $4,000. And, so we got to get our budget amended right away.
Academy starting when, 28th September?
28th of September.
I mean, he's been hired already, right? Has he been hired by the police department? I know
He's hired with the city now, it'd just be a lateral transfer.
but has that lateral already taken place?
It was supposed to, but then when he got shot down, I guess that got shot
How
down.
do you unlateral somebody, is what I'm asking?
I can't what you're saying. Lateral again, flea flicker is what we done.
All I say is, to comment on what the mayor said, all I can say is if you look at your budget and see where you could, by Thursday night, come
You
up.
might stay at the fire department.
And it may not be the whole 3,000, but something to give us to work. You see what I'm saying?
The only paperwork that was turned into me was a personnel change of status, and that was pending what the council voted on. I still have that in my office, but that was pending how things transpired in the meeting. There's, other than Chief Williams signing off on it, there have been no other signatures.
But he's still at this point.
He's still an employee
Yeah,
of
he's still
Chief
running.
Boston.
Yeah, until that happens, he's right there, and he's got a job until that happens.
And in regards to another thing that Chief Wasden stated a while ago, with the conversations going on, the gentleman that was in line, that was basically in subordination by him doing what he had done.
But now, I wouldn't go that far. I'm just telling you, he came to me and just asked me. He said, is this firefighter going to go to the police? That's all he asked me. And whether that was insubordination, I don't know.
Well,
And I just told him.
He and I had already had a meeting, I still told him, I said,
I
this is gonna
I just don't
happen.
think it was insubordination.
Well, this is gonna happen.
I mean, he's got to plan his life too.
Yeah, and I told him.
And he
I said,
wanted
this
to
gets
know.
out,
I didn't
we got the-
find it out.
I told him, I said, if this doesn't happen now, it'll happen in September. And he told me, he said, I got plenty to do between now and then.
Okay.
So, and we left it that, when he left my office, I thought we had it worked out.
Okay, I think we need to, hear what's been said, and it's been recommended, or not recommended, but suggested that, this may become a necessity for getting the right kind of people on your staff. Charles, you brought that out, that was.
Oh, yeah.
More people are having to do this, but this is something that we've got to look at now and work within our budget and decide if we're going to, of course, it's good to know that the academy, the cost of the academy is covered by the state. That's good. Now, see, because when this was figured up, here's the figures that she put together here. When he left, if he had left and gone to the academy with us paying that fee plus his salary while he was gone and all the expenses, while he was away in training for, what is it, 3 months?
11 weeks, yes, sir.
So about 3 months' time, we would, before he came and did a thing, performed an hour's work for you, the city would have had $11,730 in him. That's the investment that you're putting in that man and sending him off based upon the, now we can reduce that by 3, so now we only have $8,000, including his salary. See, we're paying him and he's not performing any work. So we'll have $8,000 invested in him when he comes back. And
That's
then,
still better than getting a man in here that'll shoot somebody in a bad situation and cost the city a lawsuit.
Has he been with you straight for 7 years?
No, he was actually laid off and hired back. But he's been here that period of time, yes.
I would say he's rooted. You know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I'm saying? I mean, I would say he's not gonna take the training that we give him and jump ship. Is what I'm
He'll be right
saying.
here. I don't think there's an issue with that.
Right. It's like Mr. Tommy mentioned a little while back, you know, hey, I was one of them. I got trained, which I went to college and got mine, but I worked with the city for 2.5 years, and then I left and went to the sheriff's office. And it's just like, I don't see this man, he's been with the city for 7 plus years. It's just a lateral transfer, and I think he's gonna make the city, he's already made the city a good employee. I think he would make just another department.
well, let me say this too, and here again, I'm a team player and all, but now, another thing, you've got his brother's one of your police officers now. I have trouble, with nepotism in
That's
hiring,
not nepotism.
inside the family.
They're not supervising one another.
No, that's not nepotism.
Okay, that doesn't fall under that category.
No, that's on him.
They're not supervising, and they won't be supervising.
Okay, all right, okay, forget that. All right, I think we can, Thursday night, maybe, we don't have to actually decide on this Thursday, because this is not gonna move
Right, it's
until September.
September 28th when it starts. You'd have to know, something a couple of weeks in advance.
All right, number 7, intergovernmental agreement regarding the state patrol's post. Y'all, if we don't begin to move, Ken, have you heard anything from the,
Hadn't heard anything from the guy we talked to.
or did she send the information that we're looking for? So we've had no move since then. All right, if we, of course, Ken and I talked to the attorney in Colonel McDonald's office, and Colonel McDonald sort of told me that he's talked to his board, and if we get our act together, we can put that state, because we got to jump through the loops, as Ken is well aware of what we went through there. But if we don't begin to move, we're gonna lose this station. I understand that, but Craig Helena's changed their mind, and they made an offer to do something up there to keep that post. And Colonel McDonald's already told me it's here if we do the thing. And I've mentioned this to the county and to y'all now. If we don't move, we fix to lose that station.
I talked to Commissioner Cruz too, and he said that, they have not voted on it, but they have all agreed tentatively to cover 50% of all costs with the county.
But, she pointed out though, that they have a timeline we've got to comply with. I mean, if we had everything to submit right now, they've got their own timeline, so it's not like we're holding up the show. They're trying.
We just gotta jump through their loops.
Right, yeah. And I think that's why I probably hadn't heard from them, because she was talking several months out,
But well, I know, I'm pretty familiar with the situation since I sort of put it together. We need to move on this thing now, because the other people, we had it where we didn't have any competition in getting it, and now we're beginning to get a little competition. But anyway, whatever you folks want to do.
I think it'd be an asset.
Huh?
I said, I think it would be an asset, we just need to take from like you said, get with the people that are with GSP. We need to talk with them, find out what their timeline is, and how we need to be on
I'll
time.
reach out to her this week. Please, I hadn't heard from you, what we doing, what we need to do.
Ask her, where do we need to get on the training?
Well, she was gonna send us a sample letter commitment resolution type thing. So I'll follow up on that.
Okay, we need to do that, if we don't, we're gonna lose that. All right, let's move along. Okay, but Kent, go ahead while we're at it on number 8 on the intergovernmental agreement relative to our park out by the library. Establish the Leisure Services Board that'll handle that. That's number 8.
That's Natasha.
Okay, Natasha?
We've given a copy to the county, but we hadn't heard back any feedback on it. So,
Up here, please.
To the podium. They can't hear you.
I've given a copy to the county, but we haven't heard any feedback on it. So we're going to try to set up a meeting probably sometime in the next week or two. Hank Hobbs and Brad Cruz have been on vacation. So they haven't had a lot of time to look at it.
Well, now, what I've heard is like with the state patrol post, everybody says that they're for it, and let's do it, and then we got to start doing stuff. I think with this, from what the commissioners are telling me, I haven't found the one that's not in agreement of establishing this intergovernmental agreement relative to this thing, if we can get it put together. So I think it's, everybody wants to move on it. Everybody's got something they're interested in out there. For the benefit of those that may not know, briefly, the big old football field where they have the Peaches to Beaches, all the tents and everything in that area, we've got a tentative design of a farmer's market. We drive in and places for vegetables and so forth. We've got a big splash pad for the kids and all out there. We've got soccer fields. And then back in the back corner back there, we've got an amphitheater for outdoor type events and all this. So it's a good idea. And everybody seems to like it, but now we need to move. Anything else on that? Okay. While you're standing there, Natasha, if you would please, give us an update on the lease with Middle Georgia College, Middle Georgia Probation.
We've got it drafted. It's drafted before you leave now, and have you a copy of it. We got it drafted and ready to go. So you just got, have y'all review it and approve it Thursday night, and we'll go.
Okay, what we've done is, we've leased that building starting the first day of August for $650 a month. They had to have some rooms, it's just one big room in there, as you well know. So we spent already about $3,000 something is what we paid the guy who wanted to do that, and we still got more expenses involved with the lighting, and we had to change the hot water heater, so we got some expenses in it, but the building is in good shape. If you haven't been over to look at it, you need to look at it. They're moving in.
And the lease will run through December 31st of 2018. So we'll have it for about 17 months.
Any questions on the lease to Middle Georgia Probation? Hearing none, we'll move along. Who's familiar with the the golf cart lease? You are?
Yes, sir.
All right.
This is, David actually sent this to me June the 22nd from J.T. Carney, the district sales manager with Yamaha. The lease on the golf carts that was originally done in 2011, I believe, and that was for 5 years. That is now up on the golf carts, and this is for new golf carts on a lease for those. And you've got the dollar figures there and everything. At the payments, like as of 8/1/17, we begin at $1,212 per month. And that's, I believe, if I remember correctly, that's only like $18 to $20 more than what,
The lease was before.
yes, sir.
The lease is appreciably the same. According to what David told me, the lease is out.
Yes.
It's already expired. So we need to Thursday night, if y'all need to pass this over, get ready to approve that so we can sign it and get it off. Any questions on the golf cart lease? Hearing none, let's move along. The INL contract, you know, we hashed that over a good bit about, we thought was some extra charges been put in there for things we weren't supposed to handle, and we've called the man in and he's talked to us, and Jeff and I have hashed it over pretty well. And we've concluded that our contract with INL on servicing the mechanic that they've got that services our equipment is very good, easy to work with, and that we're getting our money's worth. So we're recommending, aren't we, Jeff, that we continue what we're doing. The only thing now that Thursday night, we need to, when he came in and checked some of the automobiles and vehicles, and trucks and equipment, there were several pieces, I forget how many, but it was about 5 or 6 pieces that were not under contract that we want to add. And they asked me 2 or 3 times to get it signed, and I wouldn't do that until y'all had hashed it over, but I'm going to ask you to authorize me to sign adding about 4 or 5 pieces of equipment and 2 or 3 vehicles. One of them is that new...
There's 4 vehicles and there's 8 pieces of equipment.
Oh, I'm short there. Thank you, dear. You heard that, yeah. In fact, you've got that in your material there. All right, so I'm going to ask you, and they've called me several times, and I'm going to recommend that you approve us to add those vehicles on this contract tonight. Any other questions about that? Also, our contract with Bacon, to go to item 12, the work detail with the correction department is up for renewal. And the lady's already called me and asked us when we were going to sign it. And I complained and fussed a little bit about some of the services we were getting, and she said she would consider looking into it for us. But she wanted to know when we were going to sign the contract, and the contract is due.
Mayor, I did, Jeff and I had designed a sheet where they sign in and so on and so forth, and we look back at it. There is days that they don't show up, and I look back at a couple of months in the past, because I believe Commissioner Purser asked this, were we having to pay when they did not show up? They are deducting those days from us. There is one that I do have in question right now because they signed in, but they went to Baxley to work. And I've got to wait on that statement to come in to make sure that the city of Hazelhurst does not pay for the work that was done in Baxley.
He signed in the following day when he come back from back, stating where he was at.
Oh, okay.
Do they meet with you every time they come in over here? They just sign a sheet and just go do something they feel like they need to do?
They meet with me.
They do. So they're delegated to go wherever.
Right.
Any discussion, or everybody in favor of continuing the
I'm in
contract?
favor of it.
Just to clarify, my question was whether we were paying for the days. My question was anybody monitoring it? And I appreciate the fact you're monitoring it, because that was what concerned me.
All
I'm
right.
in favor.
All right, okay, good. We'll handle that Thursday night. We're going on to item 13, the roundabouts.
I'm in favor of those too.
Tommy, hadn't you spoke with?
Yeah, when y'all were at the meeting, Eric and Tom were at the meeting, I brought it up that Carl Hostetter gets my newspaper, and he saw in the newspaper where we discussed roundabouts, and he sent me a text message and said, just want to let me know that his firm designs roundabouts, and he is at present designing one in Lyons, and he's designed 10 or 15 in the counties that he covers, and he said he does it. He applies for the money, he does the whole work, we don't have to lift a finger. And since we're a T-SPLOST community, it's 100% match. Won't cost us anything. And I was just hoping we'd get started on that. It costs us very
Now, we
much.
would bid that service out there, right?
We would.
We would bid that service out there.
Not the.
Oh, yeah, well,
But
Carl,
Carl, he would bid it out to whoever.
like he does all his programs.
They do all that kind of, they send bids out to all these companies, and hey, we bid, they send all the bids in and we approve it.
And we approve it, right?
And then they go from there.
How much?
I've looked into this, and there's a lot of confusion. DOT has to, in order to provide the grant, it's something to do with school safety project, and DOT is heavily involved in this thing and does the design. But at any rate, I'm a team player. I'm ready to do whatever y'all think's best. But now DOT is they design them, and it's in a program that they're involved in with DOT. So how much the engineers involved, I don't know.
It's a part of the LMIG program. LMIG EEE, education, emergency, and something else. I can't remember, 3 E's. And since they're city streets, DOT may or may not design it.
Because it is within the city limits and everything else.
Their city streets are not DOT streets, basically.
But with the school project, I think that the grant is available through DOT, and they have to.
That's right. LMIG.
Right.
That's what I said.
Okay, all right, okay, we need to get along with that, make some final decisions on it.
I want to say something,
okay.
please.
Okay, I'd love for you to.
I just wonder how much of a problem it's gonna be for people to learn to use this thing.
Well, you know all these four-way stop signs along
They running
William
doing
Street right there?
Uh-uh.
They've been stopping and going and stopping and going. It ain't hard to
They
follow.
got used to
Follow the
four-way
four-way.
stops.
I don't think it'd be as hard to get used to as that four-way stop, because we've already got people running this four-way stop there. They're on the phone when they get
Oh,
up to
God.
With the rumble strips or put a stop to
it. I
along.
hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
All right, we'll keep hashing that out till we get it on things. The short-term cap on the Bully Creek, all the drawings on the diffusers and the doors and the everything is steel side in Atlanta, Brunswick, everywhere else. So that's all put together. And then Kevin Seagraves and I have been communicating on a regular basis with the EPD on that, so that's going along fine. Anybody got any questions about it? I got an email from TRC. They're talking about putting in some ventilators. They're gonna put in solar panels out there, and the solar's gonna generate the electricity to do the aerators. And did you all get a copy of that?
Yes.
As I've said years ago, we'll never live this down. Anybody got any discussions about that old landfill? I don't know if thing no more we can do, but grin and bear it. All right. Beer and wine license at Andy's Quick Market.
Where's this at?
This location is on the Burkett's Ferry Road. It used to be Mr. Hall's store.
I thought it was Jay's Naughty Mart or whatever.
This is in the process of being sold. I was hoping Lori would stay in here. I believe she had a conversation with Mayor Stone about this. Currently, under our alcohol ordinance, for you to sell or have alcohol in the store, you have to be a citizen of the United States. You have to be a citizen of Jeff Davis, Hazelhurst for 1 year or longer. The person that is purchasing this store has not even moved to Hazelhurst. He is not a citizen, or has been a citizen of Hazelhurst. So according to our ordinance, he can have a manager to apply for the license to sell the alcohol. And so he has found a gentleman in Hazelhurst that is 41 years of age to manage the store and...
Apply for the license.
Right. So this is something that you all need to digest and decide what to do.
Something I found out about this gentleman is that when these foreigners come in and do this, tax-free enterprise, type deal that they, and don't ask me about it, maybe the attorney can help me. But when they come in and apply for this tax benefit that they get to operate under, and maybe with the tax commissioner, she can help with some. But at any rate, it's good for, as I understand, maybe 5 years, something similar to this. At the end of 5 years, it's got to be renewed. So these folks have got to sell this store and get it under another name in order to continue this operation. Susan, you know anything about that? You don't? Okay. Anybody else?
The only thing that we can do with this is if he has met all of the qualifications,
Issue him a license.
is issue him a license. That's all we can do, that's the only option.
All right, let's move on. We've already got number 17. Okay, Ms. Lopez, you've got 18?
Yes, sir. Earlier this month, I was in training for the elections process. That was through the state of Georgia. There is a second part, which is the election machines. Kennesaw State University currently, until December 31st, 2017, offers the training on the machines themselves. This is part of the intergovernmental agreement that I have got to go. The classes are being offered August the 7th through the 9th in Macon, Georgia. The training for the class is $0. However, with me being up there, I will need a place to stay besides my car. That's basically what it boils down to. I do know that Kennesaw State University has opted not to renew the contract as of December the 31st, 2017. I received an email from the elections people in Atlanta that sends out emails through Firefly. I don't know what they will be doing at the end of the year yet. We've not heard.
But you've been to phase 1 and this is phase 2.
Yes, sir, this is phase 2.
Oh.
All right, this will come up Thursday night.
Yes, sir.
All right, okay, let's go on to 19. Charles, why don't you come up and tell us about the damage to our buildings over yonder?
Last month on the 25th, we had a fire behind Station 2. Actually, my guy woke up in the middle of the night, it was about 1 o'clock, he heard something making a noise and rolled over. Looked and the wall was lit up in the bedroom at the fire station. He looked out the window and there was a building, actually, it was, I believe, it was built by Lonnie Roberts' parents years ago, and the building behind it, which was a house, basically just a house for like visitors when they come in. He was on fire and fully involved. So he come out of the station. Luckily, he didn't open the back doors of the station, truck bay doors. We'd had damage inside the building because the heat was so intense. He come around, got out, come around with the truck, started fighting the fire. He was in his shorts, his t-shirt, and no shoes, trying to fight the fire. But he told me, he said, I was not going to let the fire station burn, Chief. So he battled it until we got some help there. But the end result is we had damage to both the fire station and the Chamber of Commerce. Last Tuesday, we spent about 3.5 hours with investigators from our insurance and investigators from their insurance. And we all sat there for 3.5 hours and we walked away. We still didn't understand exactly what happened. It was puzzling. Don't think there was any type of foul play. It's just puzzling. Sometimes you'll get a fire that you cannot really pinpoint exactly what happened. And that's going to be that one. So anyway, I think y'all see, probably have a copy of what the insurance has proposed. And I think that we're now getting bids on this repair, both the station and the Chamber of Commerce. I think the fire department took the blunt of it because it was directly behind the station. Minimal damage to the chamber. We have damage to the vinyl. We have damage to the shingles on top of the roof. So a good portion of all that's going to have to be replaced. Not sure exactly what's going to happen with their insurance, if they're going to actually pay it and go after their insurance. Not sure. Both investigators were there looking at it, and they both come up with the same idea. They can figure exactly what started. So that's where we're at on that.
Any questions to the fire chief relative to the fire? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. Thank you, Charles. All right, the contract on the Hazlehurst City Airport, we had the pre-construction hearing, we had the groundbreaking ceremony, and everything's ready to go on the airport. Anybody got any questions about the taxiway, parallel taxiway, and lines on the airport? We're gonna have, it's a $2.8 million project. In the notes and data that you've been given, they've saying that we're gonna have approximately 700,000 or 800,000, but that figure is not correct according to of local money, according to what the engineers are telling me, and the contractor with the in-kind work that we do is reference to the amount of soil that we provide and other things. I think, and this is pretty well accurate, the Croy engineers have confirmed to me that we'll probably have $500,000 of local money, and that is substantially covered by SPLOST. So that that project is well underway. Any questions about it? Okay, they're gonna have a hearing on our bridge across the Ottawa River. It's gonna be down at the Heritage Center, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Towns what
Y'all got the date on that, open house on August 1st. Be there, water and sewer adjustments, check register. Anybody else got any comments they want to make?
What
Citizens?
time on that bridge?
Says 5 PM to 7.
Yes.
You can go anytime. You don't have to do that.
And if you want to, we'll go early and fish before they get there.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
Citizens comments?
Yes.
I do. Listening to y'all discuss the budget and the shortfall of it, I have one question. If you take and you pay as recommended by the chief police to pay this full-time city employee to go to police school, that's gonna come out of the fire department's budget? No?
No.
Well, it would actually, he would switch from my department.
No, he'll
to this,
transfer.
So it would go from Ken's budget.
Okay.
He'll be transferred immediately to the police department. It'll come out of their budget.
Okay.
But the pay, he will not have any increase, and he'll keep the same pay until he finishes the academy.
I was worried about the Chief Washington's budget,
Yeah.
but that, y'all made it clear, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
fine.
He's got more than me to start. He can give up some.
Didn't you hear he's trying to pay for a fire truck?
Go ahead, you said, what, any other citizens' comments?
I'll make it real quick.
All right.
I put a quote on each of your packets tonight for $2,400. This is for the company that installed our playground equipment 2 years ago to come in and do a yearly inspection on the equipment. When they were here in town a few weeks ago with the mayor and I discussing the project on 341, they went around to the parks and took pictures and pointed out some different things where, over time, wear and tear, the bolts have come loose, screws have popped out. It's just normal wear and tear, no damage or anything like that. But we spent a lot of money putting that equipment in, and I'd recommend that we, maintain it in a usable condition. And I'm gonna pass around some pictures that were taken at Span Park of the old playground equipment. That unit's, I think, at least 10 years old, and it's falling apart. And it's gonna cost more to fix that than it would just to buy a whole new
Before
unit.
you look down.
And we don't have to buy a whole new unit right now, but I recommend that we go ahead and have Jeff's department take it down, because it is a safety hazard. The deck where the kids walk across is slipping, the bolts have popped out, the staircase is rusted through, the slide is busted at the bottom, so it's a big safety hazard for the kids. But I would like to ask the council to approve, to go ahead and have them maintain the new equipment. That'll be for all 3 parks.
When I looked at it more, I thought it just said inspect, they'll maintain it as well.
What they'll do is they'll come in, if there's any loose bolts, they'll tighten them down, they'll come in, they'll grease,
Okay,
with
so
swing
they
guard.
will maintain,
Yeah,
okay.
and but like any replacement parts, we'll have to pay for.
I
But,
understand.
they'll come in, they know what they're doing, they'll come in and inspect, they'll tell us what's missing, what they gotta replace, and all that.
Are you gonna have this in a compact recommendation for Thursday night? Is that
We've
what
already
you
got quotes, I'll
got?
get one for next.
Everything ready to go? All right, you're doing it. All right, anybody else?
I'll do it for $750.
All right, anybody on the council?
Just on this note here with the Core Cat people and whatever else, spoke to Natasha and I said she'll get some more information later on the week too. But to take and repair that was gonna be close to $5,000 just to repair it.
What is that called?
That stuff right there, it's messed
Oh,
up.
that, okay.
That was, and it was close to $5,000 to repair it.
That was just the parts, that wasn't the labor and the
Yeah, that
installation
wasn't
or
labor or
anything.
anything else. I mean, the other side of that coin, what I'm saying is a whole piece to have to replace it, maybe not as big, but we're looking at about $7,500 and we can do like we did over at McLean and over here with the supervised installation and possibly come out better off than we would taking and just having that repaired instead of replaced. I mean, that's something they want to think about.
And that could be paid for out of SPOS too, so that would not come out of the budget.
Okay, anything else? Mr. Johnson, I think you'll move.
So move.
Mr. Thompson, move in, second. Second. Any discussion, here you got a call for vote, all in favor say aye. Aye. Good night, gentlemen.
Oh.